Bring down the thunder, and here comes the crackling lightning. It's time to go old school. And what kind of old school do you want? Do you really want to go where the assault rifles began? There's that rifle that's always been phrased upon being known as the modern assault rifle. And this one was made by Nazi Germans. Today, we're going to be reviewing the last assault rifle and weapon that you get, the MP44. The MP44 is an automatic service rifle that was made in Nazi Germany in 1942. At this point, when the Germans were really starting to lose the war, Hitler wanted only newer SMGs to be made instead of rifles. German officials, however, wanted a weapon that had the range and power of that of a rifle while having the same rate of fire of that of an SMG. The weapon was made into several projects before designated to be the MP43 to deceive him, but he knew the deception and halted the project. But then eventually, after eventual tests, he actually saw positive evaluations and was impressed and decided to put it into service. The MP44, however, was the different variation of the MP43, making a few modifications. Hitler was accidentally shown to the weapon in a weapon demonstration and loved it, and then renamed it into the STG-44, or known as the Sturmgewehr or Storm Rifle 44, coining the inception of that of an assault rifle. Infantry loved it due to its range and power, but it didn't stop the war for them to lose, and East Germany used it up until 1969, but the weapon paved the way for other assault rifles, including the design of the AK-47. In-game, damage is moderate, similar to that of the AK-47. You will have to kill people within 3 to 4 shots in the body, but when it comes to the headshots, you need 2 to 3 headshots. Your range is about the same as all the other assault rifles, at 38 to 50 meters, which is pretty impressive. Penetration ability, however, is average, like most of the other assault rifles that you have in offer. However, the MP44 has one of the worst rate of fires within the game, automatic-wise at least. It ties to the M60 at 600 rounds per minute, and with double tap equip, it will increase to that of the M4 carbine at 800 rounds per minute, but I suggest not to due to its high recoil when it comes to the double tap. Your hipfire, however, is going to be average, like all the other assault rifles that you have in offer as well. Recoil is moderate, one of the worst when it comes to the assault rifle category, but if you fire in short range bursts, this weapon can be pretty effective at medium ranges. But if you fire too much, you're going to be shooting at nothing else but air or wall. But your aim time is around the same as the other assault rifles at 250 milliseconds. Your switch times, however, are as low as the AK-47 at 600 milliseconds down, and then when going up, it's almost a full second at 950 milliseconds. Your speed, however, is about the same as all the other assault rifles at 95% of the base speed. Your magazine, however, is about the same as most of the other assault rifles at 30 rounds, which was a godsend back in World War II. But your starting supply, however, is about the same as most of the other rifles as well. You get the 30 that you have in your gun and 60 in reserve, totaling up to 90 rounds. Your reload, however, is the slowest in class, tied with the G3, at 2.75 seconds, a moderate time and not enough to go screaming and going to throw your controller at. Our build of this weapon, however, is going to have to be based on an aggressive class. The weapon does have more cons than that of pros. It's like an AK-47 but with a lower rate of fire and with higher recoil. With the aggressive class, we're going to be using it at medium ranges, and we're going to be using damage, tactics, and the close range assailant to make it a good surprise, and to make sure that we're pretty effective. However, the MP44 has another flaw as well. This weapon has no attachments, no red dot sight, no ACOG scope, no grenade launcher, no nothing, not even a silencer. So instead, we're going to have to forcibly head down into the perks. First up, for tactics, we are going to be using the Special Grenade times 3 perk. With the Special Grenade times 3 perk, it will help us distract and blind enemies when it comes to rooms, spaces, or in cover before finishing them off, or permitting escape. But you can also use it when it comes to objectives and making sure that your enemies are totally blind or disoriented. Flashbangs are slower, but it makes your enemy blind, and stuns, they are tossed faster, but they also make your enemy see, but they still will be disoriented enough and slow enough to make sure that you get the kill. But if you prefer of a more explosive tactic, the frag times 3 can also work as well. To increase our damage, we are going to be using Stopping Power. Stopping Power, what it does is it increases your damage up to a factor of 1, which means you'll be able to kill people within 2 to 3 shots. This is perfect, especially with the low rate of fire, making you a formidable adversary when it comes to medium ranges. But if you prefer more health, Juggernaut can definitely help as well, making sure that you survive long enough to ensure the kill. And if you prefer not tending with the moderate reload, Sleight of Hand can also work as well, and can really work when it comes to multiple assailants. Lastly, to round out our perks for the series, we are going to be using Steady Aim, and Steady Aim will give you a chance at close quarters, decreasing your hipfire to that of somewhat of an SMG. But that won't help you when it comes to your rate of fire and for your moderate damage, and it can only help when it comes to last-ditch efforts. But your pistol would also have the gain benefit as well, since they have an average hipfire as well. But even so, it's still recommended, but if you do want a huge advantage when it comes to penetration, Deep Impact can definitely work as well. But when it comes to pistols, especially when it comes to this old school weapon, the M1911 or the MP44 can work as well, since the M1911 is a World War II weapon or World War I, and the MP45 is German but also compact and flexible. The MP44 has moderate damage. When it comes to that, you'll be killing within 3 to 4 shots as said earlier. The weapon can be controllable when it comes to longer ranges. If you fire one at a time besides firing a whole bunch of lead, then that'll definitely help when it comes to your accuracy. The weapon is also pretty good when it comes to medium ranges, and also when it comes to if you have double tap or if you have steady aim, it makes a surprisingly good assailant when it comes to close ranges as well, which will give you a fighting chance at close ranges or point blank ranges. Unfortunately, this weapon has more negatives than that of the other assault rifles. It has a moderate recoil to tend with, which means you're not going to be killing people at longer ranges as said earlier, and it has a poor rate of fire, the worst within the category when it comes to automatic wise. Besides the M60, you're going to be killing people at slower paces than that of the other weapons. And unlike the other weapons, you have no attachments to tend to, unlike the other assault rifles and other weapons besides the Desert Eagle. Overall, this weapon can be pretty difficult to use, but if you work with the flaws and make sure that you use it in a right class and firing accurately, this weapon can be a big nightmare to the enemy. So this thing doesn't unleash lightning, but it made one hell of an impact, like rolling thunder. So if you prefer something that's a little bit old school and has a little bit of difficulty onto it, then select the MP44 and break your enemy's hope like a whole bunch of glass. Thank you all very much for watching the series. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and be sure to look at my Twitch and Facebook page down below. And unfortunately, our Modern Warfare Remastered series has come to an end. But don't worry, I will be making, as promised, on doing the Overwatch series once more. But first things first, I'm going to have to show what I did at E3. I hope you guys won't be as disappointed. Until then, GalacticStorm saying, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.